I spend all this time on this not only because it's interesting to figure out how human beings emerged from primates, but also because I think a full teasing apart of how that happened will set up signposts for how we might find our way out of the nightmare of modernity. We now have an enormous cultural momentum built up behind these lethal social styles and behaviors, like male dominance, like environmental destruction, product fetishism, materialism, ego. All of this is tremendously exacerbated by modern civilization. And if we had 1,000 years to work this out, we might be able to save ourselves from Armageddon without recourse to the original sacraments and the original chemical symbiosis. But given that we probably have 40 or 50 years, I think we need to think about the role these things played in early human development. I'm not the first person to put this together. I mean, I've done it in high detail and with psilocybin, but 20 years ago, in a book called The Ghost in the Machine, Arthur Koestler observed that we human beings, he didn't single out the males, but we human beings are hardwired for murder. That's what we do best, is bash each other's brains out, and that was fine for the Middle Stone Age, but it's entirely inappropriate in a global society, and he suggested pharmacological intervention. I mean, he was thinking in terms of some kind of tranquilizer or something like that. I think we need to genuflect a little more deeply to the heights of human nature as well as to the depths. And I think it is very interesting that in 1953, the Watsons, exploring one of the last unexplored or very little contacted areas of the New World, came upon what they called the mushroom religion or the mushroom sacrament, but what in fact operationally was the body of Eros, sleeping since metaphorically the fall of Atlantis, sleeping there in the Mexican highlands. They brought it back to modern civilization, and now groups like this, small groups of people, individuals taking psilocybin, anthropologists who in the last 100 years have brought the news of the use of plant hallucinogens in many Aboriginal cultures, all of this data, information, technology, and plants, fungi, arriving on the plate of Western civilization at the same time. And, as H.G. Wells said, history, and he meant Western history, is a race between education and catastrophe. It's going to be a photo finish, folks. And my interest in this field is because this is the only, and by this I mean the hallucinogenic plants, are the only factor I've ever seen that would turn an individual around in about 6.5 hours from being, a jerk to being someone who at least had the concept that it would be nice to be a decent human being. And it's a mass turning of that sort is probably the only thing which will save us from the cultural juggernaut that we have set in motion over the past couple of thousand years.